Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live video. And today I'm going to show you how I made a card with the Potted Geraniums stamp set bundle, which is one of the bundles from the new annual catalog. And I guess it's not so new anymore, but it started in early May. So I've just got a fun card that we're going to make with it today. So this is it. And I'm starting a couple minutes early because, you know, I just, school stuff. So hopefully we'll get done on time and I won't have to bail out in a hurry. So, all right, so I've got, this is a card we're going to be making today. And this is the stamp set and the die set that coordinates with it. Hey, Donna, thanks for hopping on. So this is the Potted Geraniums dies, and I love them. They're so pretty. And again, I love that there's a coordinating die set because you know me and dies. Anything that has dies, I always get them because that's like the best. So this is the bundle we're going to be playing with today. Love that all of these images on here have a die that will cut them out. And then there are a couple of accessory dies as well. So there's a little flower die and then this layering piece that goes with it. And then this little set of flowers are also kind of accessory pieces as well. Hey, Flo and Julie, thanks for hopping in, and Carol as well. Glad y'all are joining today. And this die actually I love because it cuts out the sentiments, and you know, sometimes you just need a die that cuts the sentiment perfectly, and this one does, so I love that about it too. This is a little extra piece that you can use as a layer if you want to die cut the flower pot rather than having to stamp it, but we're stamping ours today, so I didn't need that little extra piece. Hey Karen, thanks for joining today. All right, so I've got the I guess I don't know what you said, Julie. I don't know. They look like hello to me, so hopefully it wasn't anything naughty. Okay, so that is the stamp set and the die set. One other thing that I did use on this, which this is like my favoriteest all-time ever die set, and I used the third to the largest of these stitched rectangle dies, and I used that to cut, hopefully you can see on here, the little stitched edges on the designer paper as well as on the basic white cardstock that I cut today. Before we get going, a couple things that I wanted to remind you about. Today is the very last day, which is Tuesday, May 31st, depending on when you're watching this video. You may not necessarily see it in time. I'm hoping that you will. But today is the last day that you can join and get the great starter kit promotion from Stampin' Up, where you get the free in-color bundle with your, hey Barbara, thanks for joining, with your starter kit. So if you are not currently a demonstrator and have ever considered joining, this is like one of the better joining promotions Stampin' Up has had ever, in my opinion. You get a bunch of free in-color items with it. You get the free ink pad, free grid paper, free pack of cardstock, or free pack of cardstock, and I should say free ink pad set. So you get all of the in-color ink pads, and then words are going to be hard today, I think. Designer Series paper pack that comes with it as well. So this is in addition to the normal $125 worth of Stampin' Up merchandise that you get to pick with your starter kit. This is coming with it for free. You get free shipping on your starter kit, which is a huge bonus. You get a free paper pumpkin kit. It'll just be a random pass kit. And then you're going to get some business supplies. And today is like a really, 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 really good day to join because we get to pre-order from the upcoming July to December mini catalog starting tomorrow. So yay for that. So if you join today, you actually can pre-order tomorrow, and it's you just join. So again, if you have questions about it, or again have anything, you know, have ever considered it, definitely let me know. I would be happy to chat with you more about it, but make sure you get signed up today because, you know, you want to get the free bonus in your starter kit and you want to be able to pre-order all the goodies tomorrow. All right, Stampin' Up is having, speaking of tomorrow, June 1st, they're having a buy one, get one 50% off sale on all of their current kits in the kits collection. These are separate from the Paper Pumpkin kits, so you do not have to be a subscriber to Paper Pumpkin to get the kits. All of these are available to anyone who orders from Stampin' Up. So take a look at the kits starting tomorrow, and again, buy one, get one 50% off. So hey, Jeanette, thanks for joining. And speaking of kits, there is a new one that will be available starting tomorrow, and this will be one of them that's on the buy one, get one 50% off sale as well. This kit is called the the Love This Memory Notebook Kit. So it's a memory keeping kit. And it's got lots of goodies in it, and it's a cute little kit. It's $25, which I forgot to put in here until after I printed it, and then I'm like, oh, I forgot to put the price. So it's $25 for that. And again, it is available on the buy one, get one 50% off. And just so you know, on the 50% off kits, the highest price of the two kits that you pick will be your 50% off kit. So that is an awesome deal. Hey, Karen, thanks for joining. And one other reminder, before we get started. The January to June 2022 mini catalog retiring items have been posted, and the sale prices start on them tomorrow, June 1st. All of the items, including stamp sets, which is a little different, are available only while supplies last. So make sure you get over and get your orders put in soon if you want to get any of the items that are retiring. Again, all of this will be on my blog post tomorrow, and most of it's on my blog post today. So if you want to go take a peek at stampwithamyk.com, you can find it. And I will also link it up when I post this card tomorrow. I'll link up the blog post so you'll be able to go find it from there. So I'll add it in the description of this video as well. Okay, so let's get started. My original card was actually a 4 1/4 by 11 card base, scored at 5 1/2 across the top, so it's a top fold card. Just wanted to show you, like I try to do sometimes, that it will also work with a standard book fold card. So if that is your preferred card base, almost all of the cards that I make will work with that. My preferred card base is just the top fold, so that's why I tend to do those. But again, everybody has their own preference on those. So this is Evening Evergreen card base. This one is cut to 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. And I have got a piece of the lovely linen designer series paper that I have cut to cover the entire card front. So it should be cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And if I cut it right and I glue it right, everything should cover exactly on here, which hopefully it will by the time I get all done with it. I used a little bit of liquid glue to adhere it down. I generally tend to use liquid glue when I'm gluing on a larger panel like that, just so that I've got a little bit of wiggle room in case something doesn't get on quite straight, and then it gives me a minute to fix it. Okay, so that's it for the card base. Hey, Marilyn, thanks for joining today too. So ahead of time, I pre-cut with the, again, it was the third to the largest of these stitched rectangles dies. I pre-cut a piece of the lovely linen designer series paper, as well as a piece of basic white cardstock. Before I get started on gluing things to the card front, I need to grab my gray granite ink. And I found out after the fact, I feel kind of silly, but this is actually supposed to be dirt that goes inside the pot of geraniums. I thought it was a shadow, so I was using it as a shadow on my card front. So it's a shadow and not dirt, just so you know. You can use it, I'm just showing you options. It's interchangeable. You can use it as dirt or as a shadow, as I have done on my card. Not that I made a mistake, but yes, I made one. So hey, Linda, thanks for joining. So I've got gray granite ink, and again, the little dirt slash, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, dirt. Let me ink it up again here. And then I'm going to stamp it on scrap paper, and then I'm going to stamp it here on my basic white cardstock. And I'm stamping it a little bit to the left, just because of the way the flower pot lands on here. So it looks great as a shadow. Okay, so at least I'm not the only one who thought it was a shadow and not dirt. I'm like, why would they have put a die cut in there for dirt, and then or for a shadow? And then I looked, and I'm like, oh, that's because it's dirt and not a shadow. Anyhow, I just noticed that last night when I was looking at the stamp set in the catalog, so I felt a little silly. Anyway, all good. All right, using a little Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to adhere these together first, because I wanted to have a little peek here of the designer paper on the background. And just going to adhere it together, and then we're going to adhere the layered pieces to the card front, again with just a little Stampin' Seal. Hey, Denise, thanks for joining. You like using it for a shadow? Okay, so again, I'm glad I'm not the only one who sort of, yes, it's a shadow. We're calling it, for my video purposes, it's a shadow. It's not dirt. All right, so I'm lining this up, hoping to get the basic white cardstock panel on here straight, which is a little challenging when you've got the lopsided one on the background, but I tried to use the grid pattern on the back to help me line it up, and hopefully we've got it on here fairly straight and fairly even top to bottom. Again, I wanted it slid over a little bit to the left just because I'm going to put the geranium here and then my sentiment down here, so I wanted it scooched over just a little. So stamps are versatile. Yes, they are. So there. All right. So now I'm going to start stamping some of the flower images, and I've got, I don't know, a bunch of different pieces of cardstock here. So we'll just sort of stamp, and whatever will fit on each one, and I'll grab more cardstock as needed. Again, basic white is what I'm stamping on, and I am starting with the Evening Evergreen. And this is the outline image from the Potted Geraniums, the outline leaf image from the Potted Geraniums stamp set. Just going to make sure that I've got it good and inky here with Evening Evergreen. Stamping it on basic white. All right, that looks like a pretty good image, and I'm going to set that aside and hopefully not stick my fingers in it. And then I've got soft succulent. These are the fill-in images for the leaves. And I'm going to turn it and hopefully get it stamped on here somewhat straight. I find, and now I shouldn't say this till I get done stamping this, but I find that generally if I stamp the darker image first, or the more outlining image, I find it a little bit easier to get the inside pieces lined up better if I stamp the outline first, just because I can see through the stamp and see where things land. For whatever reason, when I ink up the inside images first and then try to put the lined image on top of it, I have a much harder time getting them to line up. So that is my suggestion when you're using the two-step stamps like this, that you start by stamping the darker image first and then stamped the lighter image or the fill-in image over the top of it. That works best for me. So transplanting geraniums. So yes, you're right. I spilled the dirt. That was it. It wasn't that I made a mistake. So, all right. So we've got sweet sorbet for my flowers. And again, this is the more lined image. I'm hoping I grabbed the more lined image, although let me look at it and make sure. Yep. So I had a moment of, oop, I think that might be the not lined. Okay. So this is the more lined image, and I'm going to stamp that here as the outline image, and then, oop, almost dropped it. And then I've got the more solid image for the flowers, again from the potted geraniums. I inked up with sweet sorbet again. I'm going to stamp it off on scrap paper, and then I'm going to come back here over my original flower, and again try to get it lined up as best I can. And again, it's flowers, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But this one is actually pretty easy. I will say this stamp set, and I should stop saying things like that. It's pretty easy to get it lined up. So, all right. Hey, Bonnie, glad you're here, and no worries about being late. I started a couple minutes early today, too. So, all right. Carol, glad you're joining as well. Next up, I have got the little flower pot image. And after I just got done telling you that I found it easier to stamp the more, outline image first, this one I actually found it was easier to stamp the partial image. I don't know. Actually, was it? No, it was did it the other way around. I did it because I knew it was completely the opposite. So I stamped the more solid flower pot first, and then came back in with the more detailed image. And again, that was mostly just because it was easier to line up on the one side, on the left-hand side, as I was lining up the images. Now I probably stamped it totally crazy. Not too bad. So I found it a little easier to stamp it the opposite with the bottom of the flower pot. But again, you can do it either way and practice and play with it and figure out which way you like to stamp with it better. Then the final little piece here is the little stake. And I've got pale papaya ink. Hey, glad you're here catching me live as well. And Aileen is here, so thanks for joining, and Nyoka. So, all right, so again, pale papaya ink, stamping the little stake image. And then I've got the little tiny Just For You sentiment, which again, these are all from the potted geranium stamp set, and sweet sorbet ink that I'm going to use again here for that little tiny image. And that one is definitely easier to line up the smaller image inside once you've got it stamped. So again, overall, this is a pretty easy stamp set to play with, so don't stress out too much about it. Okay, so we've got the images stamped. Then I'm going to grab the dies that coordinate with it, and I'm going to be off screen for a second. Hopefully I can get everything cut in one swing here. Maybe. I've got my magnetic plate, and I do know that it is on back order right now, so it's unfortunately unavailable to actually put the magnetic plate in an order, but hopefully it will be back soon. It's currently showing as back in stock sometime around July, mid-July. Hopefully it'll be back sooner than that, but it's a great cutting mat. If you don't have it, you definitely need to put it on your list of things to get, because it holds the dies in place nicely, magnetized across the whole thing. It's a self-healing mat, so you can chop on it lots and lots of times before you ever need to replace it. I don't know, I've done a lot of cutting on mine, and so far it's nowhere near needing to be replaced yet. So, all right, then I've got my last little set of flowers here, the die cut, and just going to take that. Again, put my acrylic plate on the top of it, and then we're going to go off screen and cut it so that I don't wiggle the camera too much. So, all right. Hopefully y'all are enjoying your Tuesday. It's summer is suddenly here in New Jersey. we went from 50 degrees to like 95 degrees in a matter of 5 seconds. So, but that's okay. I guess summer has to come sometime. All right, so got our little die cuts here. Die cuts. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my card front and we're going to assemble a little bit and then we'll stamp the sentiment. And all right, so again on here, I'm sort of wanting to check out the placement of it and see sort of how high up I want things to be. I know that I've got my little dirt stamped down, or dirt/shadow stamped down here, so I need it to sort of line up with that. And I may scooch it. I must have stamped it just a little bit lower on my original card, but that's okay. We'll just kind of push the geranium, the greenery down a little bit, and that will kind of fix the issue of me not stamping it the right way. And then I've got my little stake and we'll stick that in a second. So, all right. So let me grab some glue dots. It said 101 in your car. Hey. So, yes. Ugh. I think it said 91 when I was in mine not too long ago. I hope it's not 101. Yeek. So, yeah, unfortunately the cutting plate was very popular, and with all the shipping delays everywhere, unfortunately it's going to be a minute before it's back in stock again. So hopefully it'll be in sooner than that, but yep, they're saying right now it's saying mid-July. So, all right, so using glue dots, and I have stuck a couple glue dots on the back of my flower pot here, and I'm going to stick a couple more on the back of the greenery. And I don't need tons and tons of glue dots to hold this on, but just want to have, I don't know, 3-ish, maybe 4, depending on the size of the die cut and how well I get them stuck on, but I think 3 should work for this one. All right, and then I'm going to tuck the stem down inside. When I was putting the glue dots on the flower pot, I intentionally did not put one in the center, just because I wanted to be able to slide my flower stems in and out, up and down, whatever, on here a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that I put the glue dots on the outside edge and then towards the bottom. And we're going to stick on the greenery image, and then I'm going to come back with a couple more glue dots and we will stick the flower image on. Ooh, maybe, there we go. And the flower, it doesn't work very well to stick it over here. This one's supposed to look like a bud, so just so you're aware, it fits, it's designed to fit on the top of these two, the ones towards the right. So, all right. Then I've got my little stake here that I'm going to put just one glue dot on the top, on the back of the sign. And I'll show you that basically I'm going to tuck the little stake down inside the flower pot again. So I don't need to worry about having a glue dot on there. I just need to worry about getting one stuck on the actual little stake, the top of the stake, so that it will stay in place. The bottom is going to be held in place by the flower pot. So that's it for assembling the geranium. Next up, we're going to stamp the sentiment. And I've got things sticking to everything. I've got a little sweet sorbet ink here. And this says, birthdays are a reminder that life should be celebrated. Whoops, that's the one for the inside of the card. Did I forget to put the other one on the block? Oh. I'm losing my mind. That is the one for the outside. All of a sudden I had this, oh, that's the inside of the card, but no, it's not. That's the outside of the card. Goodness, Amy. All right. See what happens when I try to prepare too far ahead, then I forget what I've done. All right, so there we go. It's basic white cardstock, and got sweet sorbet ink that I stamped the sentiment in, and then I'm going to grab the coordinating die from the Geraniums dies, and we're going to die cut this. Again, I'll hop off screen to do the die cutting with it, but yeah, I don't know, I forget more than I remember these days. So it is a really cute set, Carol, and definitely one everybody should get. So, all right. I'm going to do a little die cutting. All right. So there's my sentiment. And then we're going to grab a couple Stampin' Dimensionals, or my little half Stampin' Dimensionals, my ones that I've chopped all up. And we'll put a couple of these on the back of the sentiment. And we'll put that on the card front. And again, just want to make sure that I've got it sort of I don't know, make sure that it's not hanging off the edge. That was my main thing on this one. Sticking it down here towards the bottom, and then I've got a couple of the brushed brass butterflies, which I have a hard time saying that fast 3 times in a row. So I'm going to put one of the bigger ones up here, one of the smaller ones up here. These sort of float in the opposite direction, and then another one of the bigger ones down here near the bottom, near the sign. And that's it for the card front. So super, super simple. I'm glad that you're liking it. It's like I said, it's a really pretty stamp set and really easy to use, and definitely just get it. You're going to love it, Linda. So, all right. For the inside of the card, I've got basic white cardstock and the sentiment that I actually grabbed earlier, all in a panic that I was getting the wrong one, and Evening Evergreen cardstock. That's another one of the things that I do like about this set, is that it's got sentiments for both the inside and the outside of the card. So that's always nice to be able to, you know, put in a little note on the inside as well. This one says, wishing you all the happiness, or wishing you happiness today and always. And again, that was Evening Evergreen ink. And then I've got a little strip that I trimmed off when I was cutting the card front of the lovely linen designer series paper that matches the card front. So we're just going to stick that across the bottom, and that's going to be it for the card. So another really super simple one, which kind of, that's how I roll. I like quick and pretty. That's what I like to do for my cards. Usually not too many details and, you know, fancy folds and fussy cutting and all that stuff. Yeah, nobody needs that. So let me grab my snips, which I forgot to put out. And we'll trim off the little overhang here. Since this was originally a 4 1/4 by 1/2 inch strip, I usually try to keep it a little bit longer, just because sometimes I don't get the inside of the card cut exactly correctly, and then I end up with the, you know, either a little too much, a little too little, and, you know, it's easier to have excess and trim it down than it is to try to figure out how to add something on. So, all right, I'm going to stick this on the inside with a little bit of Stampin' Seal. All right, there we go. Fold it closed, do a quick crease at the bone folder, and that's going to be it for my card today. So again, this is the one I made ahead of time, my sample card. This is the one we made here today. The only thing that's significantly different is my little mound of dirt, or whatever you want to call it. I stamped in the wrong spot on this one, but I think it still works. Still looks like a shadow to me, so that was what I was going for. So I think you should just get the set, Barbara. You're really going to like it. It's fun to play with. I love the sentiments that go with it. Again, love that it's got inside and outside sentiments. So just get it. Then you won't be sad you don't have it. See, that's my theory. All right. So thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. Don't forget about the starter kit promotion ending tonight. If you're not a demonstrator, you should definitely consider joining, because it's a great, great deal. And then don't forget that the January to June 2022 retired list and sale starts tomorrow while supplies last. And then don't forget your kits are buy one, get one half off starting tomorrow as well. So let me know if you have any questions about anything. Again, I will be posting all the details and a link to the actual blog post with everything in it on this video tomorrow as soon as the blog post goes live. So thanks for joining me today. Appreciate you being here. I'll plan to be back live on my YouTube channel around 2 o'clock Eastern time on Friday, and then back here again around 2 o'clock Eastern time next week, Tuesday, live on Facebook. Thanks again. Chat soon.